Race fans, welcome to round 5 of our 2025 SRAM Downhill Southeast Series here at Beech Mountain in the high country of North Carolina. We're excited to bring you all of the action as the weekend unfolds. Last round's mid-season shakeup brought a gamut of classic windrock conditions and a couple of key disruptors to our podium. The exciting showdown set the stage for a return to the highest drop-in here on the East Coast, with another weekend of unpredictable weather and changing course conditions pushing our racers to the limit. The battle intensifies as we enter our final rounds. The chase for the overall puts Colin Mckelier right in the crosshairs. He continues to stand on top with Christopher Grice on his heels, Slade Gainey sliding into third. Cali Stewart extends a commanding lead, but with Raya Logar and Goldwin on her heels, there's no taking her foot off the gas as we enter the home stretch of our 2025 season. Let's go check in with some of our racers to get their perspective on this weekend's freshly updated track.
Wrapping up practice here. Conditions today were really dry, especially compared to what we might have in the next couple days, but I'm looking forward to it. Fresh stuff up top is cool. I've never raced downhill here before. It's actually where I did my first enduro back in 2019, and there's a couple gaps up top that some people are saying are new. They look new for sure. They're really fun. I kind of break it down into two halves. You have the top half of the top section that is like rocky and grassy and a bit flatter, trying to carry speed, and then the second half of the top section is like these sick dirt turns in the woods.
So I was really excited about a couple new changes to this course. I've been racing here forever. There's a couple little gaps that are fresh and new. I was a little nervous about them, but man, they were pretty easy. Got them second run, and I like the way they flow. Next up, the rock garden. You can't leave that out. Always some nerves dropping in for the first run. I am just going to be sticking to the right line, kind of leaving that left line to those who really want to send it. And I'm just playing it safe, and I know it's going to get wet, so I'm going to take it that right line and see how that goes.
Some of the things I'm kind of focusing on track is that flat rock garden there in the middle. That's kind of the crux of the whole thing. If you lose speed there, your run's kind of done. The rain's going to make that a lot trickier.
I'm also really looking forward to trying out some of the new refreshed gaps on the end of that rock garden section. The rock jump is going to be pretty awesome to send. It was a little windy today, so a little bit sketched out. We'll see how that goes later on in the weekend. And then, as always, we love wrapping up Beech Mountain at the end of the course here at the bike park flow. The jumps, the berms, it's fast, it's flowy, but it's also like a third of the course. So it's hard to not get too excited and too loose.
There's time in those berms down at the bottom as long as you keep your speed there and don't miss braking points or just make sure you're cornering correctly. Right there at the finish line, so you can't lose focus.
You're still racing. You still have to go fast there at the end. So I'm trying to push it a little bit. We'll see how that goes on race day.
Will, we're about to kick off finals, and we have had some rain here at Beech Mountain this weekend. Break it down. What's going on? What's the track like coming into finals?
Yeah, the sun's out right now, but as you can see, I've had my rain jacket on all day. We had rain overnight. We had rain this morning for practice, and the dirt up here, it's that black high country dirt, gets super slick amongst all those rocks. It's going to be a lot on riders' minds.
Walker Shaw reported the track's running pretty much the same as it was yesterday, but what's really on riders' minds is the dirt packing onto the tires and the frame.
It's going to be dicey out there. It's going to be really physical. Riders are going to be getting knocked offline, trying to get their speed back up. And then once they get in this open section at the bottom, they've got grass turns to contend with. Let's see what these riders can put together on race day.
Welcome, race fans. We are about to get the pro women's race underway here at Beech Mountain. And this overall points chase for the 2025 series has already preheated, and it's up to baking temperature for the pro women as we enter round 5 of 6 for the series.
That is positively right, Will. We've got Cali Stewart coming into round 5 in the lead with 142 points and 2 race wins tucked under her belt. Raya Logar in second, looking for that elusive win. She's at 136 points, but in third place is Goldwin. You can't count her out. She's due for a big result as well.
Yeah, all three of these ladies have been really consistent this season, and they're all three in the field today. Caroline Washam, celebrating a birthday this weekend, decided to jump into the action with a 257 in seeding, and Erin Goldwin, pretty tight, Grizz, but there's just a lot of crux moves that can throw you off your game on a race run today. Erin Goldwin out of Cumming, Georgia, will start us off. It's our first look at this track in finals, Grizz. It's been drying up for a couple hours, but there are still plenty of slick spots to be found.
That's exactly it, Will. Was watching some of the practice before finals dropped in, and there was a ton of dirt caked on the riders' down tubes and their kits. So let's see how this track is holding up. We know these woods are going to be slippery. I mean, this is, as you're going to say probably multiple times, there's a lot of crux sections and moves to be done here at these Beech Mountain Woods.
Yeah, there's just so many little bits that can catch you out. The entire upper 2/3 of the track as Goldwin dives into those ruts right there that have been caking up, kind of getting a little slower, a little sticky, a little trickier as the afternoon's going on. 51.8, it's split number 1 and split number 2. Almost a completely different track, Grizz.
Yeah, I'm just noticing on Goldwin's riding, she's just trying to keep the bike upright, so you can tell it's a challenging day to go racing. Nice, good choking up on the speed so she doesn't overcook. Easy to make a mistake in these rocks. I mean, this is a heinous rock garden, Will. Nothing easy about it.
Yeah, this rock garden's been around for decades at this point. Was revived for the 2011-2012 USA Cycling Downhill National Championships. Goldwin kind of getting on an interesting line right there. There's so many different ways to make your way through this rock garden. You can just up the technicality and up the risk factor if you want to, but going with a clean run through the main section, and I mean, that's something to write home about this weekend.
That it is. She had good exit speed. She's starting to get her rhythm and flow as she's safely made it through clearly the most dangerous section of the track here at Beech. So now she's getting her pace up on the cranks, and it opens up and gets real fast and flowy here to the finish line.
Yeah, and this should really be to Erin's liking. Does a lot of riding at Jared's place, fast, open, bunch of jumps. You can see her through split number 2 right there, coming into a classic section from that 2011 National Championships track, the Pro Hip. I think somebody backflipped it in that race, Grizz. Somebody from the old Ghost team on the West Coast threw a backflip right there.
I wonder who that was. I can't think of who that rider may have been. What I am seeing, though, is Goldwin, to your point, I mean, she is just opening it up here in the bottom. You can see she's really comfortable in this lower half of the Beech Mountain downhill track.
Yeah, it's a great ride for Goldwin. 16 years old this year. She's been on the podium earlier in the season, and she's going to put down a 2:59.87. So she dropped 6 seconds from that seeding time.
Yeah, look at her. She's surprised. She went way faster than seeding. She caught herself off guard. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so tough to piece together a clean run. Goldwin got one down here in finals. I mean, look at that, Grizz. They didn't have that many rocks on the whole of the World Cup this year, as we see in that one shot. Well, Cali Stewart up for the challenge of the rocky, treacherous course here at Beech Mountain. She's taken home 2 wins on the season so far, as you mentioned in the intros, Grizz.
Yeah, Cali Stewart just on a tear in 2025. And her riding form is just so awesome. She's kind of got that motocross technique, real aggressive posture, elbows up, back flat, weight evenly displaced on her Mondraker. And look at her charging. She is just not scared today, is she, Will?
Yeah, she's floating over these rocks, floating over that first double. There's 2 to link up right there, gets them both clean.
Yeah, again, to your point about this track, I mean, what I've seen so far is way more technical. It's obviously not as fast as Leogang, but certainly, I'd imagine, way more difficult to ride. Like, you couldn't get down this track on a hardtail.
No, and look at the time right there, 47.5. That's actually a little bit slower than Stewart was yesterday. Cali had the fastest top split of any woman, although she came down 3.4 behind Raya Logar.
Well, she's over 4 seconds into the green in split 1, and, I think just keeping the bike upright right here, not going down, is the key. I don't think you can win the race in this rock garden, but you can certainly lose it here today. I mean, look at how slippery it is. So easy to make a huge mistake and really go backwards on the clock.
Yeah, and there's tons of big consequential moves in there, but today is just not one of the days where you're feeling confident to do them.
No, not at all. But this is where Cali Stewart's going to hit the afterburners, get her pace back up. And she's going to have to, because this is where Goldwin was absolutely spotless in her race run.
Yeah, Stewart's picking up the pace here. A couple cranks in there across the flat. Trail crew here at Beech Mountain added these transitions, so it's no longer a hook to flat out of the woods right there. Oh, and Stewart's on a tear. It's a 154.3.
Yeah, smooth and steady through the rocks is the key to the race for today's finals.
Yeah, Stewart dropped some serious time, about 5 seconds faster than she was through split number 2 yesterday. Really opens up that corner as well, getting a good drive into the bottom berms.
Yeah, good drive in and out. And I was noticing that rut really developed beautifully over the course of the race weekend.
You can hear Stewart breathing. I mean, what seems like already such an experienced racer at the young age of 15 years. Cali Stewart coming down to the line looking like a picture-perfect run, just like she drew it up in finals, trying to extend her points lead, and it's a 2:48. That's going to be the fastest time of the weekend, Grizz.
Unbelievable ride. I mean, just textbook race run. She did a great job managing the day. That was a very, very clean race run. Not an easy task to do today.
Yeah, this line was aggressive right off the top.
Yeah, I mean, Cali came swinging out of the gate and just managed through the rocks, built up great pace, and just kept it charging to the finish line.
Well, speaking of charging, our next racer on track going to be Caitlyn Farmer out of Atlanta, Georgia. Made an awesome comeback earlier this season at Windrock, downhill southeast. Was on the podium there. She's within striking distance of a win today.
Yeah, and Farmer going for that wide line, different than Stewart. Wonder if she's trying to build up a little bit more pace and carry it through these rocks. We're going to find out at split 1 if that was, a good decision or a bad decision.
Farmer lines up that first double roost, our camera right there.
Yep, little spackle for the crowd.
Yeah, this is the steepest section of the track that Farmer's dropping into right now, and they've taped it. Interesting, they're making riders go in and out of these trees. She's right there in touch, though, a half second back on Stewart.
Yeah, interesting to see. I mean, that inside line that Stewart took clearly paid off, but yeah, I'm surprised that it didn't cost her more time going wide out of the gate there. But looking neck and neck, I mean, good intensity, similar intensity to Cali Stewart. Actually, better. She's carrying more speed through here. Oh, dabbing a foot, but that's not going to cost her too much. She's keeping some good drive going.
Yeah, Farmer's on a different line
here.
right there. She was on the low line coming into the rock garden, so you kind of have to make an extra turn that you saw as you wiggle your way through. So, yeah, I think Stewart probably picked up a second or so.
Yeah, I mean, the difference there, Stewart kind of entered these rocks steady and just maintained a consistent pace. Whereas what we just saw, she came in hot and made those foot dab bobbles and lost a bunch of drive. So split 2 is going to be the telltale. I mean, she was 0.4 back at 1, so I think she lost maybe a few seconds, unfortunately, in those rocks.
Yeah, the time can just get away from you in the rock garden here at Beech Mountain. Yeah, it's going to be 3.75, right on point, Grizz. Lost about 3 seconds there in the rocks as she's getting loose on the slopes.
Oh, yeah, getting some front wheel steering going through there. I mean, it is just so slick. And you can see the dirt is kind of packing up a little bit on these riders' tires, so that's going to impact traction as well. Whoa, getting loose again, doing a great job maintaining that.
Well, with the race today and then the race at Snowshoe, Caitlyn Farmer certainly has an opportunity to finish this season off strong. 3rd place on the podium at Windrock, and yeah, she's on pace to be in the top 3 today.
Yeah, Farmer doing a great job here at the lower section, which I think we're going to see that throughout the day. Obviously, the crux is that heinous rock garden. But she kept it upright through the kitchen sink at the finish line.
2nd place for Caitlyn Farmer. So she was 3.2 back, actually pulled back a little time on that faster open section at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, she was really loose at in those lower turns. But this rock guard, I mean, she came in with great pace, just made bobbles, dabbed a couple feet, lost a bunch of drive, and then started getting back on the gas here.
Our number 1 seeded rider is in the gate. It's going to be the last racer for our pro women today. It's Raya Logar at Davis, West Virginia. As you said, Grizz, she's hungry for a win.
Oh, and she's due. She hasn't had a win yet. So Logar opting for that outside line. As we just saw, it's not going to cost too much time. In fact, it could be neck and neck if you take the outside to inside. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, we know where the crux of this track is. It's how you get through the heinous rock garden coming up here in just a few seconds.
That's the only thing on racers' mind when they're in the Stargate, and while they're riding this entire upper section of the track, I can guarantee you they're just thinking, got to get to the rock garden.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I would be thinking. Just keep it smooth. Don't overcook it. Keep it upright. Logar looking good. She's looking comfortable.
Maybe a little too comfy, though. The time's gone by. She's 2.2 into the red.
Yeah, and as I say that, she's comfortable, but she's starting to tighten up a little bit. You can see her posture. She's kind of getting a little upright on the bike. Tells me, the fight or flight sense is pinging. Oh, man, this rock garden is just
got
not
bobbled
easy.
into the low line right there, so she's going to have to cut up high like we saw Farmer. She's going to have to turn on these mossy rocks.
Yep, getting her drive back up, getting the pace back up. And this rock section is just so difficult.
Start to get a little more gravity here. Let's see if Logar can get the pace back where she wants it. Exiting these woods, there's a big opportunity for a triple coming up.
Looks like she's going to double single out, but I noticed she was starting to get her pace up coming out of those woods. We know she's going to have her work cut out for her, and there's not a whole lot of time to be made up in this open ski run, but she's going to have to just dump the tank and give it everything she's got if she wants to fight for that win.
Yeah, split 2 coming up here as soon as she comes out of this small wood traverse. Oh, she goes deep on it, 3.53 into the red, so she's battling with Farmer. She's in second place. Don't know if she can pull back that full time, though, Chris.
No, I don't think there's enough to separate these riders to make up a 3+ second gap from here to the line, but Logar still looking to get on the box. Second place, as you said, she's battling with Farmer, so at this point, just keep the bike in line, keep it on line, minimize mistakes, give it everything you got.
And these racers are battling for every point. It's the difference between 46 points and 42 points between second and third.
Yeah, and this deep in the season, every point counts.
Raya Logar going to try to get everything she can out of that tabletop. Sits that absolutely to flat.
Yeah,
so maybe
going
she's been able
deep.
to pull some time back. Logar's across the line. Oh, she goes third. Lost some time. Got a little squirrely down there at the bottom. It's a 2:53.38, so it's going to be Cali Stewart with her third win on the season. Caitlyn Farmer in second. Raya Logar in third. Yep, Logar was sending it, but a little too sloppy.
Yeah, and seeing how heavy she was breathing, I mean, Logar is extremely fit, so she expended a lot of energy in this race run, and I think it cost her. We could see from split 2 to the line.
Here's our podium for your pro women. Raya Logar in third, Caitlyn Farmer in second, and Cali Stewart for Boone Gravity Racing on top of the box here at SRAM Downhill Southeast. Let's hear from her.
It's really interesting because it has some good jumps, and then it has like this really flat, rocky rock garden. Quite difficult, so just try to keep it clean. My seating run, it was good up till I got to the rock garden. Then I had a little crash, ran across the rock garden, but this time I was able to keep it clean and worked out. Pretty happy with it. I've had an interesting season so far, so pretty pumped.
And there you have it. Your top 5 from today: Caroline Washam, Erin Goldwin, Raya Logar, Caitlyn Farmer, and Cali Stewart. Stewart will extend that lead in the overall, taking home 50 points for the race win. 46 points going to Caitlyn Farmer and 42 points to Raya Logar. The points for our pro men's overall coming into round number 5 here at Beech Mountain. We had Colin Mckelier and Chris Grice tied at the top with 158 points each. Unfortunately, Chris Grice went down with a heavy slam in practice on Friday. We wish him the best and a speedy recovery so we could see him back between the tape. But Grizz, that's going to open the doors for some other riders to try to make inroads on Mckelier, or for Mckelier to take this lead a little farther.
That's a great point, Will. And we've got some of the headliners over in Europe. Slade Gainey, Chris Liebig, they're currently in Europe. So Jordan Balden, David Kahn, and Nick Frasier all looking to make some serious ground going into the final round at Snowshoe. Any of these 3 riders can slide up into the top 2, top 3.
Yeah, and speaking of him, Nick Frasier was first in seating, so he's got himself in a great position to snag some more points today. Colin Mckelier was right there behind him, just 1.2 seconds off that top time. And Grizz, like we saw in the women's race, mistakes can happen anywhere where folks can shuffle up and down the order. Ronnie Vance was in third, just 2.4 seconds off the pace. Jordan Balden fourth, William Arbergast fifth, Jack Sharples sixth, Austin Hastley in seventh, interestingly enough, was fastest at split 2. Must have had a big moment. Let's see if he can pull it together in finals. Kai Berles was eighth. But first, let's hop into our hot seat rider. It's going to be David Kahn. It's a big opportunity for David Kahn, Grizz. He's in 5th place in the overall. Had a bit of a bobble yesterday in split number 1, was off the pace, but pulled time back everywhere else on the course.
Well, he's looking like he's pulling in some time off the gate. He's going inside into the first wood section here. And David Kahn, I mean, always, I've said it before, I'll say it again, he is just such a pleasure to watch ride a bike. His technique is dialed, especially for all you riders that are, you know, under 5'8" or so. Take note, his form is one you want to mimic.
Yeah, and he's super strong in the upper body as well. He's just manhandling this frameworks. Down the steeps, dabs a foot right there at split number 1. It's a 40.19. That's 4 seconds faster than he was yesterday, so definitely something to build on.
Positively, he's definitely going faster. And, you know, that going back to that foot dab, I don't think mistakes like that are going to be too costly today. It is so loose, and Kahn just making quick work of the hardest section of the track here at Beech.
Yeah, he's on the low line, Grizz.
Carrying good pace. I saw footage of him in practice, and he was able to link up some gaps that look like they're just humanly impossible to do today. But look at this exit pace Kahn has out of these woods.
Yeah, building. And I mean, it's going to be a tall order to have a clean run through the rocks, and we've already got a clean run with our first rider on the show. And Kahn takes it low over that rock, does not pull for the triple. Might have tapped the nose there.
Yeah, that was a good little nose bonk over the rock, right? You noticed that? All right, 132.25 for Kahn at split 2.
Yeah, that's right on pace with top 5 from yesterday.
You notice Kahn's running dual rotor guards, so that's an indication of how slippery it is out here. And oh, look at that setup into the grass. Beautiful entrance into that corner and on the cranks out. Again, take note. This is somebody you want to mimic riding technique and execution on.
Yeah, Kahn is executing his plan. You could see it right there. The deliberate move up to the highline on the grass. Going to scrub the side of that little kicker. David Kahn riding for Pisgah Trail Company. He's got that dual Canoga Rock Creek full face. He's going to set the first time here before we get to our top 8. And it's a 2:21. Yeah, Kahn dropping over 5 seconds from his time yesterday. Got a clean one in the books.
That is impressive. It is harder to ride today. Definitely difficult, more difficult conditions, and to shave off 5 seconds, I mean, that is just textbook racing.
Yep, there was that little foot dab, but I think you're right, Grizz. Didn't really cost him any time. And yeah, this is the kind of the last gasp of that main rock garden. There's a big double right there. We'll see if anyone's able to pull it today with these slippery, unpredictable conditions. Kai Berles out of Temecula, California, a wild man on the bike on that intense rig. Oh, and he's loose off the top.
Wow, sending it deep into that inside corner and hanging on for dear life. You know, this is Kai Berleson's return to racing. He had a big injury back at the Tennessee National in March, so it's good to see him between the tape. This young kid out of Temecula, I think he's got a promising career ahead of him in downhill.
Yeah, he's certainly got the intensity that you need to ramp up for these race runs. Oh, and he's right there on pace. Love how he's carrying it through these tight and technical muddy sections. He's 1.2 up on Kahn.
Wow, you know, I noticed he entered those chicane turns a little bit different than Kahn. Kahn hugged the super inside tight, you know, barely missed the tree. And Kai Berleson kind of rounded out those corners, so it looked like it carried him really good pace. And
Berleson down. Oh, that's not the last racer we're going to see get taken out by that spot today.
Oh. Well, we've said it a lot in this replay, but that rock garden is just brutal. It is not an easy task to get through it. What? Look at that gap.
Yeah, Kai, always going to pull for the biggest gaps on track. Triples there out of the woods. It's going to be an important move if you want to be on the podium today, that's for sure.
Well, again, you know, not going to be Kai's race run. That's not exactly how he wants his return to racing, but hey, he's throwing toboggans out there. He's having a good time. Suicide no-handers. You know he's stoked to just be back on his bike and racing and healthy.
So we have 2 to go. Colin Mckelier.
Austin Hastley out of Mooresville, North Carolina, riding for Extreme Gravity Racing. It's the second time we've seen him on the show this year, and he was blazing fast in the first 2 splits and seating yesterday.
Yeah, Austin Hastley in his rookie season in the pro class, taking that fast inside race line out of the gate and carrying some serious pace into this first wood section here.
Clean over those doubles. This is where things really start to get dicey. And these conditions have changed since this morning, since their last practice run. We had rain as early as 8 o'clock this morning. Split number 1, it's a 37.7.
Wow. You know, and Hastley being one of the larger riders on the circuit, I'm noticing that he is starting to look really, oh no! As I was about to hype him up for arc and corners, he goes down.
Oh, Penguin slid down that rock garden, reminiscent of Aaron Gwynn 2011.
Oh, that's taking it back. Taking it back. The glory days on 26 inches. Oh, you know, there are big things to come for Austin Hastley. He is just, you know, like I said, he's a rookie in the pro class. He's still trying to figure out his racecraft. Clearly, he has glimmers of pace. His pace isn't the problem. It's just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. This kid will figure it out.
Yeah, and you know, that's just a racing incident today. These conditions, incredibly unpredictable. We'll go back up top and take another look at that. At least you had some moisture to lubricate the slide.
Yeah, no kidding. WD-40 went ahead and did a little track prep. It's getting late in the night, isn't it, Will?
Jack Sharples, the local boy from Boone, North Carolina, the steeziest rider on Beech Mountain, 100%.
All right, first rider in Pro Men's Finals to take that outside line.
You can see Sharples, another large man on the bike. He's got a lot of range. He throws all sorts of shapes. Today might be the shapes your tires are making rather than the shapes you're making in the air.
Right? Yeah, Sharples. I'm starting to go having flashbacks of Scott Sharples, the Australian downhill legend. I wonder if there's any relation here.
Well, he's certainly a legend in these parts in the high country, North Carolina, 43.22. So, yeah, kind of just biding his time up here, waiting for the rock garden.
Yeah, Sharples looking like he's throwing in the towel. I'm not sure if just he had an off-camera moment or if he was just trying to regroup and get it together here. Now, it's kind of falling apart for Sharples, unfortunately. Oh, shoot, he's making a pass.
Yeah, went that upper line. Oh, still going to bunny hop up there onto that on-off. It looks so dicey today.
Yeah, it's very uncommon for the pro men and women to have to deal with any passes, but, you know, on a day like today, riders are going down, unfortunately. It's not an easy racetrack to put a fast time on today.
No, we can still get a big boost from Sharples there on the triple out of the woods. So, yeah, this one will just be for the fans. Like you said, Grizz, you can kind of see it in his body language, just not quite 100% intensity. Yeah, he's 7 seconds down now. He's still in 5th place.
Yeah, it's respectable. I mean, having to make a pass, and, you know, I don't really know what happened where he was kind of shutting it down before he made that pass in the rocks, but, hey, you know, Sharples might just be playing it conservative, not trying to risk injury. As we've seen, it's pretty easy to take a slam here.
Well, we'll enjoy this riding from Jack Sharples as he whips his way through these berms. If you're up here later this season and you see somebody throwing it absolutely sideways, could be this man right here.
Yeah, Sharples really feeling himself from the lower berms here, isn't he?
Okay, this is Jack Sharples.
Well, he's not number 1 in the podiums, but he's number 1 in our hearts, Jack Sharples. Go see him on Instagram if you want to see how you absolutely shred Beech Mountain Bike Park.
So not sure if Kai and Austin Hastley.
Yeah, not the fastest time of the day, but he certainly made it look good. The bottom half. See, these foot dabs, those are just not huge, costly mistakes on a day like today. So I'm curious to see if we get deeper into the field here, if we'll see some foot out actions where there's really fast times to back it up.
Well, William Arbergast out of Morganton, West Virginia, went 5th place yesterday. He's our junior overall champ from last year, looking for a breakout pro result.
Yep, holding it wide and letting it slide out of the gate, carrying serious pace into these first rocks. Look at these Nice poppy flowing, just good fluidity through here. And Will, you know as good as anyone that fluidity through these rocks is key, isn't it?
That's exactly how you have to ride this track, and Arbergast is looking super comfortable on a day that's anything but.
See that left-hand corner, I mean, those ruts are really shaping up nicely, and 1.61 into the green.
Oh, yeah, Arbergast is heating this up. Coming into the crux of the track, he's going to point it down on the highline. He's getting a little off balance. He held it together.
What a save. Oh, that was a squirrely moment, but he held it together.
Able to get that on-off carry, good pace, goes right there. There's a big gap there to the left we call the tombstone. Don't know if anybody's going to unlock that today.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible today. It just seems like the risk is not worth the reward.
Yeah, there's another big gap that we saw Arbergast kind of go around right there as well. So definitely the fastest we've seen through the rock garden.
Yeah, Arbergast looking good. And he's on the crank, so this is where riders are just going to dump the tank. Oh, yeah.
He was on rails. Those corner knobs biting in. 2.36 up on David Kahn.
Yeah, and Austin Hastley being a gentleman, getting out of the way. That William Arbergast let her rip. This is looking good for Arbergast. I'm impressed with the speed he's carrying and just minimizing mistakes. He had a big one on those rocks, but clearly didn't cost him anything.
So not sure if Kai and Austin Hastley dropped.
Arbergast going to try to extend. He was already 2.36 up on David Kahn. There's 4 riders left to go after Arbergast, and he's going to stamp himself into the hot seat with a 219.07. That was a sick run, Grizz.
That was an amazing run, and with that 219, I'm starting to wonder if, getting under 215 is even possible on the day. We saw David Kahn shave off 5 seconds, but I don't know if every rider's got that much in them today.
Yeah, you're going to have to put all the pieces together, and yeah, that went just about as well as Arbergast could have hoped with how many treacherous moments, features there are out here. 4 riders to go, and Jordan Balden, a guy who did our course preview last week, came out here, talked to TerraTech Trails Moto Mike, and got the scoop on this track. Let's see if that experience helps him today.
Yeah, Balden opting for the inside line, which, we've seen riders go green going outside and inside, so I'm not sure how much of a difference in there. Well, oof.
He's all over the place.
Yeah. So maybe setting up wide kind of just get some of these riders a little more settled for those rocks, minimize the mistakes that we just saw Balden make. But he's back on track. He's getting it back up to pace. Nice setup.
Yeah, I was going to say he didn't really let it bother him that much, and he was on the gas before that moment.
Yeah, on a day like this, and just any race day, you got to let those mistakes slide. You got to just put it right behind you and focus on the task at hand.
Only 1.17 back. Certainly opportunities to make that up if Balden can do something special here in the rocks. He's going high line.
Good pace.
He's not going to be on Titus Nicholson's crash reel right there because that was clean.
Oh, that was the cleanest we've seen. Look at that nice high setup out. He's boogieing.
What can he do here? Is he going to tug for it? He does! Oh, no!
Oh! Are you okay?
Balden
was
with
violent.
a massive moment. I was saying in the previous rider, I wonder if anyone's going to tug that today, and Balden was just maybe a half a mile per hour too slow there.
Oh, man, it just goes to show, I said it earlier, I don't think the risk is worth the reward on the day for some of these big moves. Man, props to him for giving that gap a shot. That's a big triple, but man, he paid the piper.
Yeah, it's a differentiating move. If you land that clean, the amount of speed you have, and you're actually scrubbing that triple out of the woods instead of trying to yank up for it. So, no, it was a move that could have won you a race, but Jordan will live to ride another day. He'll put it into 11th place, and yeah, hope he can shake that one off before Snowshoe.
Yeah, he's shaking his head. He's starting to shake it off. He was looking good. I mean, little mistakes up top. He just put it right behind him, and clearly he was like right here. This mistake, didn't faze him all that much. He was ready to pull the trigger on that triple. I think he had that on his brain at this point. Here it is.
Tried to nose it in.
Oh, it just blew his hands right off. That was a heavy hit.
Let's go hear from William Arbergast on the hot seat.
A lot slicker in the rock garden. I definitely had a bigger mistake there, but Everything else is pretty good, pretty similar, honestly.
Our top three coming at you, and Ronnie Vance out of Esmont, Virginia, the wily veteran. What can he pull out for us?
Well, he's in the 30 and up age bracket, so I think we're going to see some experience really shine through here. Vance looking buttery smooth already out of the gate. I think this is what it's going to take, just a nice, consistent, but high-intensity race run without making, not taking any unnecessary risks. I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on some of those big risks today.
When he came out with that same pace that Jordan Balden had at the top, but he just didn't get squirrely as he's up now. He's 0.4 into the green coming into this all-important rock garden. I mean, you like to say, hey, half a second, that's a lot to play with, but not when you can come to a stop at any point in time here.
Yeah, and I noticed that Ronnie Vance just got nice and relaxed as he was making preparations for this brutal rock garden here. So, again, that vet experience really shining through here today for Ronnie Vance.
Yeah, clean through that on-off, made it through that high line.
Just letting the bike dance.
Just opts to pump that big feature that took Jordan Balden out, and he takes it to another high line.
His next one.
Yeah, another thing I'm noticing, Ronnie Vance has got his breathing locked in. I mean, that is when you know a rider is absolutely locked in the zone, and they're just fully committed to the moment and executing what they're out there to do. Wait, he's bleeding a little bit of time, but he's still in touch. I think 1.28 can be made up from here to the line, Will.
Yeah, and he's sitting in second place. More importantly, we've only got 2 riders left to go, so if he can put himself into the top 2, he's still got a chance to make it on the podium.
That he does, and he is just charging hard. You can just hear with the cadence of his breathing that this is an extremely physical track.
And Vance continuing to put in some power pedal, so I'm going to venture to say he might pull back just a smidge of time down here at the bottom on William Arbergast.
100% agree with you, Will. He's really building up pace as he's coming to the line here.
Ronnie Vance. Oh, and he goes fast as he pulls it all back and takes the hot seat by half a second. Let's go.
That was incredible. I mean, he made up almost 2 seconds from the second split to the line. That was impressive.
Wow, just like he drew it up, the wily veteran left some in the tank, made it past Titus. Why is Titus standing there? I mean, that's just an omen. It's already the sketchiest spot on track.
I know, Titus kind of just brings carnage to wherever he is, right? He just knows where the carnage is going to be. Puts himself in the wise position. Great ride for Ronnie Vance, though. That was impressive.
Well, he's guaranteed a podium with 2 riders left to go as Colin Mckelier drops out of the start gate. He's our series overall points leader, and he's trying to put some more distance between himself and the pack with Chris Grice out on injury.
Woo, getting loose, kind of going mid to inside. That was impressive riding right there for Mckelier. So he ran a 2:15 and change in seating, and this is going to be the ultimate telltale if this track is running, if it's even possible to go 2:15 or faster today. If anyone's going to do it, Mckelier is certainly capable.
Yeah, he's in his early 20s, but he's got so much race experience already, and it's been great to see him on the East Coast. Some conditions that might have been foreign to him before, but he's up. He's over a half second up.
Well, it's interesting. He's from Laguna Niguel, and in SoCal, we call it dry ice. So there's some unique ability to learn how to ride mud by riding extreme dry in SoCal. So, whoa. Okay, his chain is on the bike. I'm like, man, did he just pop his chain off?
Yeah, it
that
looks
was
like a
that
ghost
was a really
crank.
quick pedal.
And still committed to go up to that on-off with basically no speed. So, yeah, not as quick as Ronnie right there. So he had about 0.6 to play with. We'll see what happens at split 2, but I'd venture to say he's lost maybe a second. He's still trying to get it on the rails.
Oh, yeah, you can tell he's lost a bit of pace right there. He's really working to pump to get back up to speed. Oh, tagging that landing a little bit. Opting for a tuck here, so no pedals. All right, so he kind of just blew the tank. He's a little gassed. He's 1.82 back. You just about nailed it, Will.
Yeah, he's dropped him all the way back to 4th.
Yeah, back to 4th, and he's got to regroup here. He spent a lot of energy going through those rocks.
And we saw what Ronnie Vance did at the bottom. He was flawless down here. He was just building pace where Mckelier trying to keep things together.
Seeing Mckelier not pedal, I'm starting to wonder if he did indeed have a mechanical in that rock garden. I mean, just the cadence of his pedaling seemed unnatural. Yeah, he's pumping, so something's going on.
Well, it was smooth, the transition there on the tabletop. Got some good drive into that final flat corner. He goes 4th place, 222.13. Yeah, he's looking down at that chain. Still come away with some decent points, though.
Yeah, and being the series leader, that's what you want to do. And obviously, you don't want to have a mechanical or any kind of foul-ups in a critical race run. But Mckelier doing a great job to make lemonade and secure some solid points. He'll likely secure the lead going into round 6.
Yep, that'll be a great place to be, headed to Snowshoe. One of the most demanding tracks for rider and machine on the circuit. We've got one more in the gate. And speaking of a machine, this guy is on the Southern Gravity rig. It's Nick Frasier out of Vernon, Connecticut, one of the fastest rising young stars in Downhill Southeast.
Oh, yeah, just opting to hold it wide into this first rock garden. No mistakes whatsoever. Wow, Nick Frasier absolutely on rails and charging.
Yeah, as soon as he busted onto the scene last year, he has stayed at the top of the results sheet, a danger man on nearly every track we visit.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to see these youngsters. Is really, they'll pop, they'll benchmark themselves, show everyone that they can win. Nick Frasier going green at split 1, so it looks like he wants to get back to where he knows he can be. That's the top step of the box.
Well, and this is the section that's going to make or break it. These young guns want to charge all the time. Frasier charging. Oh, gets held up just a smidge on those roots, but he's through.
Oh, he's got air in his back tire. That was a violent slam at the back wheel in that rock garden. Yep, he's on the cranks. He's good. All right, he made it through.
Oh, and he's going left line right there. So we saw David Kahn take that line, but hadn't seen anyone else there, and it looks like he's picked up some pace again.
Absolutely. Yeah, Nick Frasier doing what he needs to do here. I mean, just as long as you get that rock garden, boosting out that triple, sick. So now he's just got to build his pace. He's on the cranks. Yeah, he's in touch here. I think he's definitely in touch. He's green at split 2 here,
more than
Will.
in touch. He's taking it to the green by 1 second, so he's got a second to play with. We know that Ronnie Vance did something pretty incredible here in this bottom section, but Frasier looks like he's got boundless energy.
Yeah, that he does. He is just hanging it out. I mean, this kid's style is so rad. You could tell he grew up riding motorcycles just by the way he's just thrashing this bike.
Loses the back wheel just a smidge in that corner. These things are hard packed and slick, and Frasier throwing everything he has at it.
Yeah, he's really putting the Southern Gravity through its paces right now. What is the time going to tell us? He's making his way to the finish line here. Can he go 2:15 or faster?
Frasier's going to come through the line, and he's going to do it, take the win with a 2:17.29, over a second over Ronnie Vance. Nick Frasier into the winner's circle here in Downhill Southeast. Man, that was a good one, Grizz.
That was a great ride. Man, he had a close call in that rock garden. Glad he was able to keep air in his back tire and just keep the bike upright. We knew this kid's been due for a win, and he finally got it.
First win in the pro men's category for Southern Gravity as well. And, man, just dissected this upper section. Went outside, slammed it into the left-hander.
Yeah, this was beautiful. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. Look at that back end just stepping out, but he's getting his weight over the front, getting the bike to come correct.
Had to send it for the boys.
We'll be keeping an eye on you, Nick Frasier.
Well, here's our podium from round number 5 of SRAM Downhill Southeast. William Arbergast going to be on the podium in third. Ronnie Vance in second. And Nick Frasier taking a win. Let's hear from our winner.
Yeah, it was a really good run. Just a bit slow through the rock garden, get through it. There was a lot of crashes this weekend and made it through good and had a good race run. Yeah, it's really fun. Reminds me a lot of Mount Snow up in Vermont. Love that place. And rock garden's pretty technical, a bit different than what I'm used to. But yeah, I love the track. Super fun. Yeah, I had a rough start to the season and flat in the last race. So a little bit out of the overall, but not doing too bad.
Well, with one round remaining in the SRAM Downhill Southeast Series, we've got some shakeups here in the Pro Men's points. Colin Mckelier staying on top, extending that lead to 199 total points. but we got movement right below him in second and third.
Yeah, you take a look at Nick Frasier. That race win bumped him up to second place with 184 points. And David Kahn, most improved rider for today's finals, goes into third place with 180 points. Jordan Balden in fourth, McClure Bailey fifth, and Ronnie Vance bumping himself up to sixth place.
And it's shaping up to be a battle as we head to West Virginia.
Easy go faster than 218.539. Can he do it? Yes, he can. 217. Cali Stewart puts it into the hot seat.
All right, well, round 4 of our 2025 SRAM Downhill Southeast Series, that's a wrap. It was great to be back in the high country of Western North Carolina. We've got 3 weeks left until our series finals at Snowshoe, West Virginia. Look forward to seeing you all there. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew here at the Gravity Co-op, we want to thank you for supporting US Downhill.
Older than the winter. Talking about that. Well, I'm almost twice his age, so I'm stoked to just still be here fighting against these kids. All the kids are in pro now, whooping our butts, but us old guys, if you can call us that, still got something for them. So race maturity when the weather gets this bad and the track gets this sloppy goes a really long ways.